Welcome to Black Wall Street Unplugged, Episode 4. In today's episode, we're focusing on a vital topic that affects so many in times of crisis: navigating FEMA. We know that recovering from a disaster can be overwhelming, but Black Wall Street AVL is here to help. We have Joseph Hackett who will guide you through the FEMA process step by step, whether you've been impacted by a natural disaster or are just looking to prepare. This episode has the information you need to take action and get support you're entitled to. Stay tuned for valuable insight. Let's get started.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. If you are in the hurricane affected area, my thoughts and prayers are with you. I'll be coming to you a few times with this information. So if you have limited cell service, if you have limited power, and you just cannot stay right now, you can get the recording, you can get the downloads. We want you to save your power and save your resources, but Black Wall Street wants to just help out in every way that we can. And one of those ways is by helping remove barriers to resources. So in my city, Asheville, the Black Wall Street building was flooded. My coffee shop was not as badly impacted, but it looks like the waters are receding. We have no power, no water. And gratefully, we do have electricity. We do have access to internet right now. And so we want everybody to know that we're here. Thoughts and prayers are with you. But for the sake of this recording, we're going to go over the FEMA application for disaster assistance. All right. So FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Association. They are a federal agency that responds to disasters. And the way that FEMA works is whenever a local leader, whether it's a mayor, a governor, whenever those types of leaders want to access federal resources, they have to declare a state of emergency. Once they declare a state of emergency, then that gives them access to federal resources. One of the conversations with Katrina was that the federal government could not really get involved sooner because the governor had not, according to the stuff they say, the governor had not yet called the state of emergency. But in North Carolina, in Asheville in particular, our mayor declared a state of emergency, and all of this gave us access to national resources. So National Guard is there, resources are there, FEMA is there, and I appreciate what they're doing to get stuff to the people. But one of the problems is that a lot of times people of color don't have access to the resources. So today we're going to go over the FEMA application for disaster assistance. All right. I'm going to share my screen. And if you have any questions, we want to answer the questions, but I want to make sure I get through the information first. If you need this recording, you'll be able to download it with the screenshots. All right. So they design the application, or they intend for the applications to be simple. They intend for them to be simple. And sometimes people just don't know what they don't know. So I'm sharing this with you so you can access the resources that you need. Okay. So this is the website. It's disasterassistance.gov, disasterassistance.gov. Whenever you're looking for federal assistance, the website will always end in .gov. It will not end in .com. If it ends in .com, then that's somebody's personal commercial. Like .com means .commercial. That's somebody's personal business. It's personally, privately owned, and they might charge you. It doesn't mean that they're wrong for charging you. It just means that it's their personal business. This, of course, I could charge people, but this is my way of giving back. to help you get access to the hundreds and thousands of dollars and resources that are available to you. I appreciate people sharing things with me, and I want to do the same. So here's the website, disasterassistance.gov. You can share this with anybody, every business, every individual. Go ahead and share this link with them, because even if you don't have a need right now, you might not have a business, but you're a person. All of those resources are here. If you need personal support, if you need business support, all of that is here. This is the link that is used to funnel all disaster assistance in the United States. Okay, so this is the starting place. Let's go on. So you'll see these tabs here, information about us, blah, blah, blah. If you are ready to apply, you click apply online. Now, the thing is it's gonna do a few different checks to make sure that you're a real person. I don't know, sometimes these things are not very clear. All right. So they're going to ask you for your zip code, or they're going to ask for your city or state. This is the location of my business, and you click next, or you can do your state, North Carolina, and then your city. Asheville, and boom. So it comes up. And then the name of the storm comes up. This is Tropical Storm Helene. That information is going to be necessary a little later on in the application, but this is the disaster. You select that, and then you go on. All right. They're asking where it's located. I'm in Buncombe County. If you need individual assistance, it's here. If it's business loss, it's here. If you need unemployment assistance, it's here. These are the websites. So ask for everything you need. Don't wait. Don't feel bashful. Don't miss the opportunity, because the funds do run out. All right. So when it comes to individual assistance, you can get assistance for home repairs, temporary housing, or property damage. Temporary housing is like hotels or Airbnb, property damage.
That's why I'm going early.
Go ahead and mute.
That's why I'm going by myself, no kids. That's why I need drive, because I know it's packed over there.
All right. Mark, go ahead and mute while they're taking care of that. I got it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
All right. Yeah. People, taking care of what they got to take care of. All right. So if you need appliances, furniture, vehicle, etc., you might also qualify for help with childcare, medical, lodging, any of that stuff. Okay. Here's the links, and then you click next. And what assistance do you need? Now, whatever you click, they're going to ask you about. So I'm going to click all of them just to show you what's there. Okay. I'm going to click all of them just to show you what's there. Okay. You said you have reburial expenses. That's if a body has been buried and like you need help with a funeral, or something has happened with the body, you might need funeral services or reburial expenses. A body came up and you need to have it reburied. So if you needed it, then you would click yes. If you actually do not need it, then you click no. All right. You said you needed medical or dental expenses. There's all this stuff. Okay. Loss or damage to personal medical, expenditures for injury or illness, pre-existing injury, disability, or medical conditions, replacement, prescribed medications, etc. So like while I was in the storm, I had medications. I'm on dialysis. I'm waiting for a kidney transplant. Do I have medical expenses? Yes. Do you have dental expenses? No. All right. You said you have, so they're going to ask for each thing that you said you needed. They're not trying to be in your business. They just need to know what type of help you need, which is going to translate into how much resources, whether it's a check, a direct deposit, or some other kind of tangible resource. All right, so home or personal property damage. We need to know if this is for your primary home. We might also ask follow-up questions. And so, yes, this is my primary home. Somewhere you live 6 months to a year. All right. You said you have childcare expenses. So they might be able to help with extra childcare needed for the disaster. These costs must be for children aged 13 and under. All right. Do you have childcare expenses? I do not. Home safety item costs. So this is expenses that you need for a disaster. Okay. Any of the things, any of the home safety items that you need for a disaster, do you need to buy or rent these types of things, a generator, blah, blah, blah. All right. Before we move on, they're going to review all the things you need. If these are correct, you click yes and move on. All right. Now, this is Tropical Storm Helene. They're going to ask you again to confirm the date, and you click that and say yes. The type of damage that we experienced was flood, but if you experience something else, you just click that on the list. All right. They'll ask you to create an online account and agree to the Privacy Act statement. You have to click both of these links in order to move on. One says you agree and accept their terms. The other says that you are a citizen. So do you agree to the terms? If yes, you click the box. They ask if you are a citizen, you declare that you're a citizen or a non-citizen national or a qualified non-citizen in the United States. If you are that, click any of those. If you're a citizen, non-citizen national, etc., you click that. And then it's going to get you to create an account. If you already have an account, you would log in there. To create an account, you'll go there. Okay. It's good to create an account because you're going to need it later on. You're going to need it later on. Okay. All right. Once you create an account, I'm going to show you what to do. All right. Before I go on, does anybody have any questions so far?
I do.
Yes.
So I have a few, I guess. One, can you apply for individual now and business later? Because we don't even know like the extent of damage to the business yet.
Yes. Yes, you can. You actually, well, you'll create a single account. And inside the account, you'll have multiple applications. So you can have a business application and you can have a personal application. The other good thing about it is that when you create your application, there's also a hotline that you can call for FEMA, and they can answer any questions in the meantime. So when you do your applications, when you create your login, you're going to create a general login for disaster assistance, and that's at login.gov. This screen that I just left is going to give you an account, and you'll use that account for everything, both your personal and your business application.
Okay, that sounds good. We can do that. And then I guess, we've been blessed. Our home was okay, but I have a 4-month-old baby, so I just felt like we couldn't stay. And do you know if like they'll still offer you assistance even if like you didn't technically have to leave? We didn't have power and water, of course, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
rough.
it's not based on whether you had to leave or not. It's based on whether your area was impacted. So they're going to just they're evaluating whether your address was an address that was impacted.
Okay,
So it doesn't
that's
matter
good to
whether
know.
you had power or not, water or not, cable or not. What matters is that you're in that area.
Okay, good. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for doing this.
I'm glad that you asked. No problem. I'm glad you asked. So there are some people that feel like because their situation might not feel as bad as their neighbors, or like their house might be dry and the house down the street might be underwater, they might not ask for help. But that's really not the way that FEMA works. If you're in a disaster zone, they're going to help you in the way that they can. And because they try to be fair, they actually try to level it out, so that everybody's getting pretty much the same thing. So the encouragement that I have received is to apply for everything you qualify for. Let them tell you no. Don't tell yourself no, because this money is coming from taxpayer dollars, money that you've paid taxes into. You work a job, they take taxes from it. You buy things, they take taxes from it. You're an American citizen, you're here, you're a non-citizen national, you're paying, you're here. This is a time when the government is taking care of you, at least doing what they can to help. And if you have like deep, detailed questions, they do have a hotline. I called and asked them about a whole bunch of these things before I came on and did these trainings, just so I could kind of be informed. But you can even tell them your personal situation, and they'll help you out. But what I do is I apply for everything and let somebody tell me no before I tell myself no. All right. Other questions before I go on?
Is that the right link? And you said the number is on the website, right? I just
The
dropped
number,
it in the chat for our records.
okay, which number? The FEMA number?
No, the website.
The website where you start is disasterassistance.gov, but then it's going to take you to login.gov. Am I answering your question? I feel like I might be missing you.
Yes, you are, but I was just saying I wanted to make sure that I had put the correct information in the chat for everybody who had jumped on.
All right, thank you.
You did. You answered it. Yep. It's disasterassistance.gov. Yep.
Okay.
But I was saying, is the phone number that you're saying you called to talk to somebody, that's on that website as well?
It is, but I can give it to you again. The phone number, this is the phone number for FEMA. The phone number for FEMA is, yeah, all right. 800-621-3362. 800-621-3362. That's the number to FEMA. And when you call them, it'll be a federal agent that answers, a person that's trained in all this stuff, and they'll be able to answer your questions. They also, like, if you're a person that doesn't use the internet, there is a way that you can do the application with somebody on the phone. They'll still need some information from you, because when they make payments, one of the options is a direct deposit. So if you do it on the phone, you just have to know that if you try to do the application on the phone, they're going to ask for some personal private information like your social security number and things like that. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to pull up the screenshots. So that you all can see what they're going to ask for.
Hi, Jay. I came in a little late, didn't realize that you put something in the group. And can you give a brief overview? And also, are you going to send out a replay?
Yes. Yeah, I did this same training yesterday, but I had to clean up the screenshots just to make sure that was good enough to put out. So you'll be able to get this. You just click on the link and send us your email. We might be able to send it out. Did y'all give your email for this link, or did y'all just click in? I don't remember.
No, I signed up for Zoom. So the
Okay.
email
All right.
was in there. Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, at the end of this, you'll be able to get the recording and the screenshots. Can you all see this?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So what we're going over is the FEMA application for disaster assistance for businesses. Now, when you go to this website, this is the same website that you can apply for personal assistance. I'm just going to go through the ones for business right now. But if you follow all of the steps that we've done already, you go through all of those steps. And when you want to do personal, you'll just click on personal instead of business. But right now I'm going to go through business. All right. So once you create your login at disasterassistance.gov, once you go through disasterassistance.gov, it's going to take you to that screen that we just left, and you're going to create an account. When you create your account, they're going to ask you to verify. So make sure that whatever email you use, you use, that you can go over there and verify. Sometimes it's hard to verify when you're doing it on your phone, but you have to be ready to do that. They're also going to give you a verification code. So they'll verify once you register. Then when you log in, they're going to give you a code. That's just to protect you, to make sure that that the help that they're giving is actually coming to you. All right. So once you get through all the setting up your account, then they're going to bring you here and say, tell us about your request. So you'll have the option, a disaster home loan application, a disaster business loan application. So let me tell you, before this screen, they ask you for is it personal or is it business? The information I'm going through is business. I'll have to do another training on personal. But if you just don't have time to come back or do that, you can call the FEMA number and just ask them. Okay. You don't have to use all of your power to sit here, but the information is here just so that you know, and if you ever need it. All right. So tell us about your request, either disaster home loan application or disaster business loan application. You click business loan application. All right. Then they ask, what is your business type? My business is an LLC, so I click here. If your business is anything else, then you click there. If you have a trust, if you have a cooperative, a sole proprietorship, a housing corporation, a partnership, a blah, 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 then you would click there. Now, each business needs its own application. So if you own more than one business and you want to apply, like I have 2 buildings, but both of my buildings are for one business. So I'm going to do one application, but I have 2 addresses. All right. If you have 2 different businesses, it's going to be 2 different applications. That does not mean you need to create 2 different logins, but when you're registering your business, if everything is separate, you might actually need two different logins because every business is like a different child. But my one business has 2 locations, and you'll see that in here. All right. So they ask for your tax details. They ask for which ID type you're using. And this thing that I'm telling you all, this is not tax advice. This is just how to fill out the application. Your business, if you're a single member LLC, you're probably doing everything probably is on like your Schedule C and feeding up to your tax return. And that's why you only have the option of Social Security number, because everything shows up on the 1040 under your Social Security number. But if you are a corporation, then everything is not funneling up to your 1040. And like if you click corporation, you'll have different options here. But when you click limited liability company, then this will be the only option. All right. But don't get stuck on it. You can always call the number if you're unsure. All right, these are disclosures. You're just, this is just telling you what information you need to prepare. Can you all see this? I know it's small. Is that better, y'all?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So you're going to need to have access to your federal tax return. You probably have it on email. You might not have a paper copy, especially if you had to evacuate. And if you don't have it, if you don't have any of these, do not stop. Don't avoid doing the application because you don't have these. You can actually provide all of it later on. They're just telling you what information you can prepare so that if you need it, then you have it. Information about all insurance policies for your business, information about all general partners, information about anybody or entity that owns 20% or more of your company, and designated disaster number for the event. The designated disaster number is the federal number that has been assigned to the disaster. So the federal disaster number for Hurricane Helene, Tropical Storm Helene, is 20005. 20005. That's 20005. And if you're unsure, then you just click this right here, and it will search. It will search for the thing for you. All right. But this stuff is really easy. Most people just don't know, and I want all of my people to have what's available to them. So there are only 10 screens, and we're already on screen number 3. What was damaged? The structure was damaged. The business furniture was damaged. If you have a car that you use for business, the business transportation was damaged. I may need to go back and click that. And loss of working capital. This is called economic injury. So if your business is closed, hold on, let's go with the structure. If it's flooded, then something might happen to the structure. The street was damaged, the walls were damaged, the structure was damaged, HVAC, all of that structure. The business, furniture, equipment, and inventory. I own a coffee shop, so my equipment was damaged. My inventory was damaged. The coffee beans are damaged. All of my stuff is damaged. I lost everything. Business transportation. If my car was in the flood, if any of my vehicles were damaged. All right. And then loss of working capital. Because all of this stuff was damaged, my coffee shop has been closed. Because my coffee shop closed, I can't make money. I can't sell coffee. I can't hire people. This is called economic injury. This is loss of working capital. So FEMA has money and resources to help you with all of this. Do y'all see why it's important to apply? And I rarely find a large group of Black people that have applied for disaster assistance. These disasters come and they hit our neighborhoods, and then it just looks like the people that already have everything they need just get more of what they need, and the people who don't have just keep suffering. But if we can just learn how to fill out these applications, then we can have access to it too. And so far, this stuff is real simple. What you think? Yes?
Yes.
All right. The next screen is damaged property. So I told you I have 2 buildings. And so this is where they ask you to put in your locations. They'll ask you for the address. Once you type in the address, they're going to offer the official address, and you just click on it. You want to use the official address that they suggest, because this is how they detect this is how they match you with the storm or with whatever disaster has occurred. All right, they're going to ask you city and state, blah, blah, blah. But then they're going to ask if you own or lease. They don't have a preference. They just want to know. All right, so you click lease. And then if you have more than one location, you just add it. Each time you do, you just click next, and they'll save your responses and move on. Matter of fact, let me reiterate. Always click next. They'll save your responses and move on, because they know that you might have lack of power, lack of internet access, and you might need to come back. Your application is going to be saved up until all of your content is going to be saved up until the last time you pressed this button. Okay. So if you have to do it real quick, do it in pieces and chunks, then so be it. All right, next is the disaster declaration. This is where they ask about the damaged property reported. So you tell them All right, they ask about your business. So they ask your business name right there, and then they ask for your DBA. You put that right here. They ask for your NAICS code. If you don't know your NAICS code, then you just click here and they'll search it for you. Mine is a coffee shop, so that's why it's next. Non-alcoholic beverages. All right, how many employees do you have? I have 5 employees. What state is your business? North Carolina. And then the date that you established or acquired your business. This is your date of incorporation. All right. And primary business address, 346 Depot Street, and so on. All right. So the application is halfway done, y'all. It's halfway done. All right. So then they ask you, the business owners, if you own your business with somebody, if they own 20% or more, then you're going to have to disclose who that is and include their information, including their social security number. But if you own your company by yourself, then you just type in 100%. They're going to ask you your social, and you put that on there. Insurance coverage. If you have an insurance policy, you put it in there. You probably do. And in order to get that policy, you just, if you don't have the paper policy, you might want to look in your email, contact your insurance agent and tell them that you're preparing a FEMA application, ask them for a policy. Just as a side note, at the same time that you're working on this application, you can tell your insurance company you want to file a claim. Again, don't ever tell yourself no. You pay the insurance, you pay the policy, you pay your bill all the time. Now is the time for you to actually receive some of the help that you've already paid for. All right. So they'll ask you for your policy number. And while you pull up your policy number, go ahead and send that email to your insurance company. Next, they're going to ask you about your background and delinquency. Again, now, y'all, this is where I spent the most time on the phone with FEMA because I do have a criminal charge in my background and I have a judgment. And so I wanted to understand this. And while I was getting the answer for me, I said, well, let me just ask them about all of these questions so I can get the answer for everybody else. Hopefully this will save y'all time. This will save y'all headache. But please, you do not have to depend on my answers. You can always call the number and talk to them yourself. The most important thing is do not count yourself out. The second most important thing is make sure you apply now. Apply before the money runs out. Okay. Question number 1, is the following true for the business or any owner, general partner, or managing member? Okay. Have you filed bankruptcy in the past 2 years? The answer is no. Have any outstanding judgments, liens, pending lawsuits against them? My answer was yes, because I do have a judgment. I have a restitution that's $1.5 million. It shows up on my credit report as a judgment. And so my answer is yes. If you answer yes to anything, they're going to ask you for an explanation down there. All right. Now, I cannot tell you how to, Mark, go ahead and mute them. I cannot tell you how to answer these questions. If you have a personal situation, you can call the number and ask them. That's what I did. All right. Are you currently incarcerated? The answer is no. In the past year, have you been convicted of a criminal offense committed during and in connection with a riot or civil disorder? The answer is no. Have you ever been engaged in the production or distribution of a product or services that's been determined obscene by a court of competent jurisdiction? The answer is no. Currently more than 60 days late on paying any child support obligation? The answer is no. Currently suspended or debarred from contracting with federal government or receiving federal grants or loans? The answer is no. All right. These are the questions. They're not complex. They're not complicated. If you have a special circumstance and you want to talk directly to FEMA about it, you can. You can just dial the number. The number for FEMA is 800-621-3362. Again, the number for FEMA is 800-621-3362. If you have any special circumstance, you can contact them, but you'll answer these questions in the most honest, upfront, right way, and you'll put your explanation there. Do not discount yourself. All right, don't discount yourself. Apply for everything that you can. Please stay safe, check on each other, do whatever you can to keep your spirits up, save your resources, let folks know what you need. I just wanted to make sure that I did what I could to help you get the money. I mean, it's real money. It's a real check. It's a real deposit. I wanted to help you get the free money, free resources that are available to you during these times of a disaster. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer?
I have a question. I
Yeah.
know you kind of touched on it about the replay, but if we did not put our email in to get access, how would we get that replay? I'm just wondering for me and my team specifically.
We'll put it. Did y'all must have came through Facebook, right? Is that where y'all saw
Yep,
me?
I said, yeah, everybody on my team, we came through Facebook.
Okay.
I
All
came
right.
through Facebook, but I still had to fill out the
Well,
information.
we'll put the link out on Facebook again right after this, so y'all be able to just get the download. That's the recording and the screenshots.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And y'all can spread the word. You can share it. You know, it's crazy how like during Katrina, that just devastated that whole area, right? But there are still people, even a year later, Black folks that didn't have access to resources. And it's just a shame that this stuff is supposed to be public and free for everybody, but our people still don't get it. And I really think it's because they hide these applications. I think that sometimes people get nervous about the applications, even sometimes because, you know, Black people are overly policed and we deal with courts and stuff like that all the time. We might think we don't qualify. So I'm just trying to spread the word so that as many people as possible, as many of our people as possible, to have access to what every other American has access to.
Is there a limited time that they can apply for this?
The money does run out. So
Okay.
You gotta, early bird gets the worm. And I mean, I hate to be like that, but y'all know that's how it is. They're quick to say, we run out of money in that budget or that line item. Yep. So the best thing to do is to fill out the application now. If your situation changes, gets better or worse, at the least you already have an account. You have an account with them, you have a login, you can monitor, you can update it, etc. And when you
So is
call
this
FEMA,
also, I'm sorry.
when you call FEMA and you talk to somebody, they actually give you their federal number. So like you can track your discussion with them. Go ahead, Alina.
But is this also for the people who had to move out of the area, even though their house might not been damaged and they
Yes.
ran out of electric? Okay.
Yes. The only thing that matters is that you were affected. Actually, I'm gonna show you the screen again. I think somebody else asked that question. All right. So right here, when they ask, they don't ask where you physically are. They care about whether your property has been damaged. They don't ask you the specific damage. They just ask you the address. So if you left your house, whether you feel like you had to leave or you wanted to leave, all that matters is that this disaster was in your area. And this disaster affected your business. That's all that matters. Whether you physically are there or not, doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, when you go through the home application, what I just went through was business, but when you go through the home application, you can even claim FEMA if it's your second home, if it's your vacation home. Any other questions? All right. Well, I'll be doing this training again.
I had a question that I had put in the chat, and it looks like there's a few other questions in the chat. Back when you were doing the business end of it, and it was asking for number of employees, my question that I had put was, if you're a sole proprietor LLC, do you count yourself as an employee, or is that 0 employees that you put in?
I counted myself. If you had a specific question about your legal status and your corporation, then of course you might have to look that up with your accountant or your lawyer. But I include every name that's on my payroll, and I have 5 names on my payroll.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter whether they're full-time or part-time. They didn't ask that, just how many employees.
Okay.
What if it says that your area is not in the declared area?
If your area has not been declared, then you need to contact your politicians or your mayor, city manager, city council. They need to get your place on that list. I think yesterday when I taught this class, there was somebody in Georgia whose area yesterday was not on the list, but as of the next day had been placed on the list.
Okay, so you said contact our city council?
Yep, your city council, your mayor, somebody that's running your city. They need to hear from you. Put our city on this list.
Okay,
Great.
Coach.
Mayor did it really early. Yep.
I'm sorry, Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, so I actually live in South Carolina in one of the disaster areas. And so I run my business out of my house, but the business address is in a location in Georgia that has not been affected. How does that work?
When they ask about the location, add that as a location. For example, on the screen, remember I said I have 2 locations? I have 2 buildings,
Yes.
remember that screen? So when I was incorporated, I only had 1, and that's that 346 Depot Street. After that, I added a second one, which is 8 River Arts Place. I'm able to put both of them in there. So your Georgia address might not have been affected, but your South Carolina address was.
Yes. Okay.
So
does it have to be registered in any system that prior to this that I work out of the house in the South Carolina location?
No, that doesn't have to have already been in the system. It just needs to be true. If you work out of South Carolina, I didn't change my paperwork to include my second location. I just had to tell them this is my second location.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Next question.
Someone asked, will they come out to inspect the?
It has not been their practice to come out and inspect. Now, I don't know how big or how small any of your buildings are, how much or little your expenses are going to be, but they really try to standardize the amount of money they give. And they've been through this before. So they assume that people are going to tell the truth. But I do want to caution you about this. When I was in prison, I was in federal prison from 2012 to 2015. One of the guys that I was in prison with was in prison because of some type of federal fraud related to Katrina. Allegedly, based on what he said and what the articles said, he was a developer and he was lying about something. And I think he got tens of millions of dollars. And then something happened and it came out that he was not telling the truth about it. Or he was diverting money to a place that it didn't need to be. So y'all, there's never ever a reason to lie. But if you were impacted, if you're built, I don't care if you have a lawn mowing company and now you can't mow lawns because everything is flooded. You need all those lawnmowers to be replaced. You're an American citizen. You pay taxes. You deserve everything that anybody else is getting. And the reason that he got in trouble was not because the government didn't want to give him the money. It's because he lied. So you don't have to lie. All of that said, assuming that everybody is telling the truth and doing the right thing. Now, I'm not saying be perfect, but assuming that everybody's telling the truth, you were impacted. Your business, your location, your braiding store, your tax company, your childcare company, you were impacted. They don't have time to come out and check because the storm wiped away everything. The flood affected everything. They just want to get you the help that you need as quickly as possible. And all of that starts by doing this application. Other questions? Do we have to show any proof of income? No.
What if your services are mobile? Sorry.
If your services are mobile, you still had economic injury. So if you let's say you're a mobile, maybe you're a mobile dog groomer, and you walk around with your scissors and you go to the people's house to groom their pets. Well, now that there's a flood, you actually had economic injury. You probably lost your equipment because you kept it in the shed out back. You might not have any more customers, so you don't have as much revenue. You were still impacted. Like the fact that you started a business in America is a good thing. That means that you qualify not only for help to individuals, but help to businesses. So yes, even though you're, all right. There was another question. How do they distribute the amount given to each business? They ask you in the application, they ask you, do you want to receive a check or a direct deposit? Will they come and inspect the damage? I've never known them to inspect the damage. Does this money have to be paid back? Some of the money does, some of it does not. So you'll have to look at each thing that they offer you. Each thing that they offer you. The thing that I've just showed you is the disaster business loan application. But these loans are very, very favorable. So make sure you look at the terms. And if you want to be real smart about it, it's better to like if you needed some money to carry you across, a difficult season, it's better to use this than to use your credit cards. It's better to use this than to dip into your savings. And because this is a disaster, you don't really know how long it's going to take. In my city, for example, they're saying the water could be off for 4 to 6 weeks. That takes us up through Christmas time. You get what I'm saying? Like it's going to be hard. You don't want to just use up your cash reserve when you can have access to what the government makes available to you. All right. What other questions? What if the business doesn't have insurance? That's fine. They don't care that you don't have insurance. They just ask you if you do have insurance. All right. If you are a sole proprietor, do you count yourself? I already answered that question. All right. What if it's a home-based business? It doesn't matter. Home-based businesses qualify as businesses too. And some people have not incorporated their business. They function as a sole proprietor. That's fine. Just click that box. If you're a single member LLC, you click that box. LLC, tax as a corporation, C Corp, S Corp, click that box. Just get everything that's available to you. All right. Do you know what the interest is? I do not know what the interest is, but you can definitely ask. If you call FEMA and just ask them. The other thing is when they make you an offer, they're not just going to take money and throw it in your bank account. You're going to have to accept it and you're going to have to sign some stuff. So they'll make you an offer. All right, my business is virtual, but Duval does not qualify as of now. Does that mean Duval County? Okay, all right. If your county doesn't qualify and you think it should, then you need to contact your city officials and tell them to, the question that you're saying is, you're asking them to declare a state of emergency or to declare a national disaster, just ask them, how can you get the FEMA resources? By our mayor declaring a state of emergency, that is what activated access to FEMA. Now, if you don't need it, you don't need it. But if you are in an area that was impacted and you need it, then go through the steps to get it. Whenever the mayor or the governor or whoever declares a state of emergency, that gives the local people access to federal resources. Federal resources can't just come in. You have to access them in a very specific way. And that specific way is when your local official declares a state of emergency, then they have access to FEMA resources, federal resources. All right. Any other questions? That's all we have for today. I'm Jay Hackett. I'm the founder of Black Wall Street. I'm the owner of Six Figure Grants, and I'm just glad that we were able to offer this help to you all. I'll be coming on again. Today is Wednesday. I'll be coming on again on Friday, going through this same application again. You and anybody else you want can come. You can come for free. Just come and get the information, and I'll be answering questions. In the meantime, y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and much love. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Black Wall Street Unplugged. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and found it valuable. Don't forget to stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook at Black Wall Street AVL to keep up with all our updates, events, and community news. You can also visit our official website at www.blackwallstreetavl.com for more resources, programs, and information about how we're building and supporting Black-owned businesses in Nashville. Until next time, keep grinding and stay inspired.